to take a deep dive in the 11 o'clock hour, but maybe we can get him to share a few words about what we can expect as he deals with Zionism and genocide and the genocide crisis and how it exposes Israel's disregard for international law. And we got a few more in 9 o'clock. In 10 o'clock, I want to really get into a piece that's been fascinating to me, and we really want to hear from you all, 773-591-1690. And this is about the killing of a CEO. Where did the anger and outrage come from? We're going to take a look at the still developing case of Luigi Mangione, who is under arrest in Pennsylvania, and New York police say he is the suspected killer of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. Of course, this was a health insurance major corporation worth billions of dollars, billions. So there remains an outpouring of support for Mr. Mangione, and his lawyer said tonight that some people have called his office wanting to help pay for his client's defense, Mr. Mangione's defense. So the support is kind of centered around anger and outrage over the health insurance industry and its negative impact on people's lives, medical debt, claims denial, suffering, and even the deaths of some 68,000 Americans a year based on what insurance companies decide. So we're going to kind of get into what's going on here. Why is there so much outrage and anger? What are people responding to? What does it say about where the country is headed as it continues to unravel? And you can read an opinion piece that I did about this on straightwords.com. And at 11, again, Brother James takes us into a deep dive. Brother James, you want to give us a brief preview of what we can expect? And we want y'all to be tuned for this. This is important.
Well, yeah, my brother, the conference was held by the American Muslims for Palestine. And so you often get, in the media, you get the view from the West, from the pro-Israel lobbies, et cetera, but you seldom get a view from the Palestinians, those who either live there or have relatives there, even to the point where the DNC denied a supporter of Palestine to speak at the convention. So we'll be talking about what it looks like for Palestinians on the ground and for those who live in the U.S. who are fighting to liberate their kith and kin on the land as Israel thumbs its nose at international law. So that's what we'll talk about.
Man, I appreciate that, Brother James. And I just read something, I guess yesterday or the day, a family of 25 people killed in Gaza.
They're trying to destroy generations, brother.
Yeah. So when you look at how Palestinian Americans, Arab Americans, and Muslims feel about what's happening, this is not some academic or philosophical exercise. It's the life and death of people. But James G. is going to take us into that. But I wanted, and Brother BJ, of course, if you got anything, you got anything you want to
I was going to add on
this opening discussion.
I think we're going to talk about the CEO in the 10 o'clock hour, right?
Yes, sir.
That's going to be one of the most fascinating conversations, I think, because I saw a comedian do a monologue on the killing of the CEO, right? And I'm saying, wow, man, this country is outrageous where we're celebrating the death of a man who got shot in cold blood. And this is, like you said in your monologue, in the article you wrote up about this, I mean, this is the unraveling of the moral compass of the United States of America. I mean, we don't even
ever had one.
Right. If we ever had one, I was thinking about this man's children they're watching, his teenage sons are watching the news, his wife, the family, and people are cheering like this man is a hero for killing somebody.
Yeah.
And I just think that's going to be a really good discussion to hear what people are going to say about that, brother.
Yeah, and we'll definitely get into that. And one of the things I want to do is deal with mainstream media coverage of this, and we don't applaud or call for the death of anyone.
Right.
Outside of us trying to defend ourselves. But when you see people responding like this, it's something major behind it.
Yes, sir.
This is not something that people do just because they woke up this morning, you know. And I think, you know, one of the basic things that we do with what we do and looking at media and telling stories and reporting, when people react a certain way, we always ask the question, why?
Yeah.
Why? And we'll get into that. But I want to come to real quick to Sonya, this case of Sonya Massey. This is a sister who was killed in July by this man, Sean Grayson, a white man. He's a former Sangamon County, Illinois deputy, and he's now charged with her murder. Well, Illinois' highest court has denied an emergency motion filed by Mr. Grayson's legal team to basically release him. The court has determined that Mr. Grayson will stay in jail until a hearing on January 2nd. So, you know, it's, brother, I tell you, it's, I'm glad that we're seeing this. You can imagine the pain of her family and her father in particular, who's been talking about this, and the pain of just black people when we see so often that there seems to be no way to even begin to try to hold police officers in particular accountable. And this woman was unarmed.
Yeah.
She called the police because there was noise in her backyard. Why the police came into her house, they asked her if she was okay. You can find this video online. They asked her if she was okay. She said yes. The cop was standing outside of her house.
Yeah, right.
So my question is, number one, why was it necessary for him to enter the home of this black woman in the first place? And then there's some other things that go with it. But we got a couple callers. Let's get them in and see what they want to talk about.
All right. So we got Randy on WVON 1690. You're on Straight Words. Go right ahead, Randy. And what's on your mind tonight?
Yes. Good evening. How are you?
Good evening, brother.
Hey, Randy. What's up, man?
We're fine. Good. You know, I know Brother James for years. But
yeah, Randy. Randy reads a book every hour.
Oh, wow.
He reads a book every hour, man.
When you too kind, I appreciate the compliments, brother. Peace to you all. I appreciate you all. I have two nephews. They're Muslims and stuff. And mother's from Detroit, Michigan. So I do have much respect for our Muslim brothers and sisters. I have much respect. I've been reading Final Call newspapers since the early 80s, over 40 years. Okay, excellent.
Wow.
Excellent publication. I'm telling you, since 81, 82. But I want to let you know, I agree with you all, and I think that, one, people need to understand, we need to understand just what Kwame Ture and Stokely Carmichael talk about, that we need to know who our friends are, who our enemies are. Yeah. You know, Stokely Carmichael, Kwame Ture was one of the co-authors of the book Black Power with James B. Hamilton, right? Okay? And the book that came out more than 50 years ago, and he laid this out. We have to know what our interests are, local, domestic, international, and we also need to understand that we are at war, that these people are hunting us. Okay, they are. I don't care what these people say. These people are hunting us. The white folks that come over the false narrative, right? See, if you look at the things that they're doing in terms of the orange hair bandit, I call him the orange hair Grinch who stole the election, right? Like the Grinch who stole Christmas, okay? Donald Trump, okay? Yeah. And what we're looking at is that here you have this poor sister shot to death, shot in the face, and if you look at the video, you saw how the police officer disrespected her, especially the tall guy. As a matter of fact, there was a situation, in my understanding, was that the sister had some kind of exchange with the girlfriend of the guy, or the young lady friend of the police officer, shot in the face 3 times. Okay? Before that. So there was a situation that had occurred before that, right? And then they lied and said that basically there was another shooting. They said there was a police officer who shot it. They lied to the family of the sister in Springfield who was shot to death back in July. So you got that going on. And then you got this situation where this Marine, I wish it was me, I would have choked that Marine out that killed that brother, whose mother was found stuffed in the suitcase, killed and stuffed in the suitcase. He was traumatized. He used to do the Michael Jackson stuff on the train to raise money. He was around asking for food and a job. He wanted a job. And what does the white boy do, the cave boy do? He kills his young brother, chokes him, holds him, put him in a chokehold for 7 minutes, 6 to 7 minutes. Okay? Sound like that guy, the police officer who kneeled on George Floyd's neck for 9 minutes and 20-something seconds, right? So this is then you got the white boy, Rittenhouse, right? Who is a white vigilante, less than 18, 19 years old, who shot some people and they were allowed to get it. And then it's the white tears. The white boy Rittenhouse started crying in court because he was instructed by his attorneys to do that, right? So it's the tears of white men and women, right, that get sympathy, right? So we need to be careful there. We need to be on guard. We need to be prepared, get ready, so we'll be ready, so we won't have to get ready. We need to be training the martial arts self-defense, like you excellent brothers and sisters in the Nation of Islam, but self-defense. We need you all to work on something where we train together, work out and train our people self-defense, martial arts, as well as combat, unarmed and armed combat, because these people are going to be doing more. You're going to see more racial attacks on black people when Donald Trump takes office in January 2025. So get ready. So get the book. Check out the book, Insane Clown President by Mike Taibbi, and also the book, He's Not Our President. Not Our President by edited by Haki Mahabuti and Lazim Kazembe. And his excellent works that lays out Donald Trump's whole background. The man's a criminal. He should not be in office. And I believe in creative resistance, creative tension, the use of creative tension. We're going to win this one. Trump is not going to last 4 years. I see him collapsing in 2.5 years. He won't last a full term. So keep up the excellent work. Keep doing what you're doing. I believe in you all, and peace to you, brothers. So keep up the excellent work. I appreciate you all.
Appreciate
all right,
you, brother.
Let's keep going, brother BJ.
All right, we got Art. Art, you're on WVON. Talk to us, brother.
Assalamu alaikum, brothers. Our enemy is not the white man. It is very disheartening to hear that we put so much energy into these things, not to say we shouldn't be concerned or to address them appropriately. But anytime you have a 14-year-old boy in Inglewood on 68th or 67th and Parnell, shot twice in the head. Yesterday, working in the Inglewood area, 70th and Normal, they find a woman dead in the abandoned building. And much more tragic incidents in our own inner community between gun violence and death. I just don't understand why we are so concerned with so much of the exterior problems that we have very little or no control at all. But our own children are being slaughtered by each other and one another. And we're so concerned about the exterior. It's not to say we shouldn't discuss it, but we have so many internal problems. We talking about training to fight the white man. We got an internal fight that we need to fight, that's spiritual, mental. We have a lot of rebuilding to do in our own communities. And I'm not understanding why God, the black man, the black woman, and black children is not on the tip of the tongue of every black man or so-called leader, teacher, guide, potentator, preacher, organization. When we have so much violence in the 17 communities that we wouldn't have to write nothing about the outside. We can fill all the pages up with the blood of our own children by the hands of our own people. I just don't understand this continued line that we go down with the drama. I heard about the brother who was killed by the white man because he was doing whatever. And I wasn't there to see it. I've been in altercations, so I can't judge it. And someone said he's innocent and they took his life. And I said to someone very quickly, do you know how many innocent children that have been aborted in the black womb of women who gets abortion? Innocent babies are aborted, thousands of them, because of the breakdown of the family, from drugs, alcohol, and being misguided. We have serious work to do, brothers, and I wouldn't spend 1 second. You would get my empathy, but you wouldn't get my time. My time will be built or used to rebuild the black community and black family. I'll leave you brothers with that and what now, black people.
Thank you, brother.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Art. Thank you. I'll say this, brother. One, the white man is our enemy. He remains our enemy. And who made us? First of all, who has taught and trained us? Who educates us? Where do the guns come from that come into our community? And I'm going to get to what we're doing to each other. I'm going to get to what we're doing to each other because that's real and that needs to be dealt with. But we got an enemy, and brothers and sisters, whether you see him or don't see him, understand that he exists. Why is there more poverty among black folk in Chicago, and what does that bring? What does not having a functioning school where you can go there and learn to read and come out of that school being able to look toward a future, what does that look like? What does the incarceration of black men since the 1990s, what does that look like? What does it look like when we see almost every week, probably at least once a month, black men being released from prison that were absolutely innocent of a crime? And this city pays out millions of dollars, hear me well, millions of dollars to people, our people held in prison 10, 20, 30 years for nothing. And these cops stay on the force. And there's no accountability for the lives that they stole. And in the years that they stole, those lives impacted the lives of other people.
Yeah.
Who controls our community? Certainly it ain't us. Where do the guns come from? Because in this country, there's been moves from the beginning to keep us from having access to weapons and firearms. Here we hear about and read about guns is being dumped into our community.
That's right.
We now kill each other. What does it look like when since the 1960s you got these same 17 communities that brother was talking about? Some of them have not seen progress since then. They still look the same way they looked in the 1960s. The crack epidemic and its after effects. You talk about the breakdown of the family. What's causing it? The black family. What's causing it? You don't think these stressors, you don't think that they have something to do with it? So no, brother, we got an enemy, external.
Yeah.
And we got an internal enemy that we have to deal with as well. So it's not one battlefront, it's two. But when you understand that you got an external enemy, it should make you all that more determined to know that you got to rally around yourself to save yourself, because the one that's destroying you is not coming to your rescue. He ain't coming.
That's right.
So that work of repairing black people, that's a work I've been involved in 37 years of my life, spent thousands of my own dollars, me personally. The Nation of Islam has been involved in that work for almost 100 years and is still involved in that work. Our day-to-day work ain't protesting white people. Our daily work is trying to save black people. You don't see us going into white neighborhoods saying, Mr. White Man, stop. No, we go into black neighborhoods and tell black people, stop the killing, stop the slaughter, stop all of this. So I'm going to say this, brothers and sisters, and you can take it or let it alone. God gave us a man, and you can believe it or disbelieve.
Right.
God gave us a man, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, who gave us in a solution. And he said that solution was separation, starting first with getting out of the mind, the mores, and the ways of white people. Getting your mind back, your original mind, and coming into unity and love with one another and doing something for self and building where you are.
Yeah.
We ain't tried that. We have continually gone back to the white man. Okay, Biden gonna save us. Okay, we saved democracy, 8 years ago? What did we get for it? Now we right back politically, if you listen to what black folks are saying, to where we were, 8 years ago? We right back there. So where's the permanent solution? Where's the permanent solution? And I'm saying this, brothers and sisters, it's nothing that pains me more than our deaths at the hands of one another.
Right.
So this is the work. None of us came here to be calling on white people to be better. That ain't coming from us at all. But you got to know you got an enemy, external, and with that enemy's mind in your mind. And you not understanding that. And you not rejecting him and getting a thorough knowledge of self and love of self. And deciding we're going to fight for unity like we've had fought to be with white folks.
Yeah.
So this is serious.
I add a little bit, brother Naba'a.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead,
it's
brother.
Not like, like you said, brother, it's not like we just signed up to be in this position out of our own helplessness. But I think back after slavery, we were so-called set free, and we were establishing our own towns. We were owning our own farms. We were even electing our own candidates because we had our own black cities. And so when you look at what Caucasian youth are living off of, they're living off of generational wealth that their forefathers established, number one, by stealing some land and then by putting people to work for free or nothing. And so they're living off of that generational wealth. And when we attempted to get that generational wealth after so-called emancipation, a decade into that, it was all destroyed. All of our cities and towns were raided and destroyed by Caucasians who were jealous that we were trying to do and go for self. Just think, had that not happened, what kind of condition would we possibly be in terms of generational wealth, businesses that have been in existence and handed down, land and farms, et cetera, and the growth that we would have benefited from, but it was destroyed by the open enemy that you have just talked about. And the number one objective of the government, as has been demonstrated in numerous documents that have been revealed, is the denial of organization by black people and the so-called rise of a black messiah. But to your point, that answer has come in the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and it's being continued by the Honorable Mr. Louis Farrakhan. But we didn't just get here out of happenstance. There was causes and definite effects. So just wanted to add that.
That's good stuff, brother. Let's go to the phone lines, brothers. We got Brother Cliff. Want to join the conversation? Y'all can hit us up at 773-591-1690, 773-591-1690. Cliff, you are on WVON on Straight Words. Go ahead, brother. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum, brother. Malaikum salam. I won't take too much time, but listen, I'm like maybe about 45 minutes out of New York, so I'm right in Connecticut. So it's right next to the border, like Illinois to Indiana, and so my issue on both things are really the CO that I know you'll be dealing with that in the next segment. I really didn't lose any sleep over that whole situation, but really kind of what disturbed me was the description given by Fox News indicating that the suspect was light-skinned. You know what I mean? And so you know how they do. So and this is in addition to our eyewitnesses describing the guy as white, and then also you had the photo, the guy was white. You know, so to say light-skinned, you know, that's pretty much a description that's associated with black people. You know, so I'm surprised that they didn't go around picking up light-skinned black people. You know, so, but yet they got the suspect, he's Italian, you know, so that's fine, you know, whatever. You know, I care less. But what really disturbed me was this whole situation on that train with that white boy Penny. And here's the part that got to me the most. There had to be some brothers on that train. You know, and for brothers, man, to sit there and take videos and one person said anything to that white boy, and trust me, and even, you know, and I respect my brother Art, you know, and he makes some valid points. But if Brother Art was on the train, I'm not too sure if he would have the courage to stop that white boy. You know, I damn sure would. You know, and just to show you that I've done it before with police officers, and there's power even in your words when you have courage and when you got some backing of righteousness. You can speak on things and make things happen. So all that dude had to do, our brother, righteous brother, all he had to do was say, yo, hey, listen, white boy, that's enough. Get up. I got this. You know, go home now. You know, I got this. And then the other brothers, man, would probably, hopefully, they might have followed him. But I know without a doubt that if there was some brother with some bow ties on that train, that never would have happened. You know, without a doubt. Now, anybody can challenge me, and you know, if they want to, and their listeners, but I know without a doubt that would never happen. So the point I'm making in closing is that this is just the beginning. You know what I mean? And you want to think about unity? I'll show you unity. Unity was that white boy man saying, feeling that he can go and choke and kill a black person. Unity was him knowing that he got a white public defender or a white attorney. Unity is having a all-white jury and a system that acquitted him. That's unity. Where's our unity? That's all I'm simply saying, bro. So I end with that. And let me tell you, the blueprint for our existence and for our survival is no doubt the Nation of Islam under the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. I don't know what else to say. Assalamu alaikum, brother. Thanks for taking my call.
Hey, Brother Cliff.
All right, thank you.
Brother
Yes,
Cliff.
sir.
And did you get the bow tie we sent you in the mail, brother? Can you sound...
Brother, you know what I'm saying? I was born with
Brother,
it.
you got a bow tie?
I was born with it. You know what I'm saying, bro? I got it in my heart. You know what I'm saying, bro?
All right, bro.
It's just the answer,
Yes,
man.
sir.
I searched all over. I went to church.
bro.
I went to Christianity, bro. And what makes sense to me is the Nation of Islam. I can't find no other choice, bro.
Thank you, Brother
Take my
Cliff.
call.
But I think Daniel Penny and Sean Grayson, they just wanted to kill somebody. That's what they wanted. Daniel, because there were some folks, according to the reports, that were saying, okay, you're going to kill him. And he just kept choking. So he just, I think he was a former Marine or in the military. He just wanted to kill somebody, just probably to see how I feel. And he had the opportunity, and he took it. Just as the police officer with the sister, because there was no provocation to shoot that woman. But he for some reason, maybe it was because of what the brother was talking about, some back issues that he had with somebody or whatever. But they just wanted to kill somebody, and God has given us a picture of, you know, what could be coming down the road as this thing heats up with the next administration. And we do have to pay attention to that. We can't ignore that because it's going to, if Trump, the language he uses, that he normally uses, if he continues that, I mean, you just saw 10,000 people go on the Capitol from some words that the president, that Trump spoke at that time. Now he's got a second time at it, and he's more experienced now. He's got people in place now. So, you know, we've seen this before. So we should, like you said, we should be getting ready.
All right, Brother Barney, you on WVON 1690, the Talk of Chicago on Straight Words. Go right ahead, Brother Barney. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam, family. How are you?
Hi, Barney.
Fine. Fine.
Good.
May Allah continue to bless us with this great forum, brother. You hit a lot of topics tonight. You pretty much, as you were speaking, hit a couple of points I wanted to deal with Brother Art, was the cause and effect. And that is a mathematical condition. We're dealing with the effects of it, but we have to go to the root of the cause. And if they, there's only one head to a body. And the body of black folks, you need to understand today, the head of the black man today on earth is the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, following this program of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, following the program of God. Now, we can do little things in our community that we want, but that's like a fart in a hurricane. We have to unite all the organs of the body following behind one head. So now, Brother Art does make one very important point, and I hope Brother Art is listening. You always say, what's our response? Brother Art, that's a very, very good point. One of the reasons the white man gets the respect that he gets, because if you do something to him, he responds.
Right. So
we keep concerning ourselves with why we didn't respond in the time. But when a black man I just seen on the radio or the news gets exonerated after 40 years for sexual assault, and it comes to find out that the prosecutors had the information all the time, there was not even a righteous need to prosecute him. So our question is, how come we're not on those police doorstep? How come when they doing things, we don't, I'm not advocating you go do anything to them, but I advocate we go ask them some questions. As a people, we don't have a response. Now, if you don't know the response to do, then come join on to your Nation of Islam. We have a proper response in the positive condition of building for self. But there's going to be an army out here. And I know I'm on the radio. But in a few days, there's going to be an army of Pookie that's going to rise up. And he's not going to be listening to you saying, what's your response? He's going to ask you, why didn't you do something? Right. Don't wait for me. If you see something out of order, general order number 1, can we find out what that is? Mm-hmm. Take charge. Take charge of this post. And all your property in view that you can see. So don't put it on me. You see something out of order? You see what needs to be done? You call on Allah to give you and inspire you to go the best way and move out. Now, if I come back later and I look at your benchmark, your tracking, and find out that you have no body of work, then I'm not going to understand why you keep asking what the response is. Yeah. The Nation of Islam in 90 years has given the response and have molded the path under the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, now under the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and showing the greatest work is the eternal work of us raising us up in order to provide for a nation to build us. David couldn't go into the kingdom because he had too much blood on his hands. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan now for 47 years have rebuilt the work of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad with no blood. That's right. There's going to be some warriors with some blood on their hands. These are the builders. Where's my warriors? Assalamu alaikum.
Go ahead.
Yeah. I wanted to say something real quick. Brothers and sisters, we don't just point to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad because we are, what's the word I'm looking for? Because we are blind followers.
Right.
Okay.
Or personality worshipers and stuff.
Yeah. We point to him. Why? One, because his word and following his way and following the minister's direction has, first of all, changed our lives. It's made us better men and women. It's changed our behaviors. So the many of these same people that you talking about that was killing and robbing and murdering and wreaking havoc, they're not wreaking havoc anymore because they heard the word of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and they are reformed people who are now working to rebuild our community. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad's cry wasn't, white man, you need to change. It was and remains unite and do something for self. Matter of fact, unite and do something for self before you are forced to. So I want to make that real clear. We're not just saying this because it sounds good to our ears. We're saying this because we know from the work of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the work of the minister for some 70 years has been good for our people. Can anybody deny that? Can anybody deny that the Nation of Islam hasn't been good for our people?
That's right.
We remain a place, brother, that you can come, and sister, see, you can come to us from wherever you at. And all we want to know is where are you trying to go, right? Where are you trying to go? Not what your past is, because you didn't even know who you were in the past. But with a new understanding of who you are, where do you want to go? And look, brothers and sisters, we have not done the things at the level that we would like, but we have done things. We have our own national headquarters here in Chicago. So we don't have to beg anybody to go in their house and do anything. So when we celebrate the Islamic holidays, we do it in our own house, and we invite other people. And we invite our people to participate, whether they're Muslims or not. We got an independent school system we're building around the country. It's not perfect, and it's not big enough to support all of our children, but it is a model. We got farms in Michigan. We've got farms in Georgia. We have a great entrepreneurial class among us. We are literally training, listen to this now. We are literally training our children to be doctors. You hear me? Engineers, lawyers. Do you hear me? Very specifically, man. Scientists. To serve who? Not the white man, but you. So I just want you to kind of have an idea of where we're coming from. And don't mistake our zeal and our passion for being blind. We see very well by Allah's grace.
Go ahead. All right. Well, brothers and sisters, we're at the top of the hour, and we're going to have another powerful conversation getting into the killer of the what is United Health?
Alleged killer.
Exactly.
Thank you for that correction. The alleged killer of the healthcare CEO. We're going to talk about that coming up. You got some questions and you want to chime into that conversation, 773-591-1690. Go to straightwords.com, brothers and sisters, and help us keep this great program on the air rolling every week. We need your financial support. Go to straightwords.com. Go to straightwords.com. You can also hit us up on our text line. It is 312-480-9775. You can contact Brother Naba'a right now, 312-480-9775. You're listening to Straight Words on WVON 1690. This is the Talk of Chicago.
This is Linnell Harris from Inspirational Perspective, wanting to wish you a happy holidays to you and your family and all those you love.
The Talk of Chicago and the voice of the nation is 1690 WVON, Berlin, Chicago.